In my adventures of creating Twitch integration mods for games, I've really been enjoying doing these code snippets to kind of show you the similarities and differences between each of the games, but also just to show you some of the fun hacks I had to do with some of these integrations, given the time constraints, and just first working with these games. So I'm going to continue today with the code snippets showing you the Twitch integration mod I made for Slime Rancher. So this Twitch integration mod does a lot of the same stuff that Raft does. This game is a Unity game as well, just like Raft. So learning this was pretty simple, as again, it was Unity based mod dev using Harmony, just like Raft was. So I was able to jump into this pretty quickly. So I've made, of course, the normal things like spawning items and doing that kind of stuff. But the one that I want to talk about today is the plot downgrade. So in Slime Rancher, you have these plots that you put your slimes in to contain them. And as an action for the Twitch integration, we had the ability to downgrade the plots, which I can demonstrate here. So I go to my chat and I get the reward here. I will send it. You'll see that our redemption popped up on screen here, and the plot downgraded. So all the walls, the barriers around it downgraded and got removed. Very cool effect, and it's been really cool, and of course it goes for 10 seconds and then it spawns back. However, you'll see here in a second that getting this to work was definitely a hack in itself, and it has caused a lot of problems just due to kind of game interactions and how the game functions. So let's switch over to the code and we'll talk about that more there. So look at the code now. This is the relevant bit of code that handles the plot downgrades. And the first thing I do when I want to downgrade the plots is to figure out how to go about removing those walls and barriers. And luckily enough, those walls and barriers are just game objects. Unfortunately, those barriers and game objects are not exactly easy to get to. So the first thing we need to do is we have to get this land plot model. And I believe this land plot model is just like I guess the model, for lack of a better term, just, you know, the visual and physical aspects of the model. It's hard for me to, I haven't done a ton of work with this, so I don't know the exact relationship here, but at either rate, we have to first get the land plot model. This allows us to actually access the game object for this land plot model to then get the land plot itself. From the land plot, we can then access all of the upgrades. Whoop, not that. We can then access all of the upgrades here, which are luckily a nice enum, so not too hard. And from these upgrades, what we can do is we have to go through the plot, check the plot upgrader, which holds what has been upgraded on this plot, and check if each component has been upgraded. If it has been upgraded, here's the issue. We have to reflect, which is what we did up here, reflect to get the actual game object of this plot model, and then loop through and actually physically deactivate each game object. Now, the game has a way to upgrade the plots as a built-in method. However, the game does not offer a way to downgrade the plots as a built-in method. So we have to basically reverse engineer their upgrade method to then reverse it to downgrade it. That works all fine and well for this bit, but then we also need to reset it. And that's where we have to go and kind of add this to a ticking cache that goes through, and after a bit of time, so if the plot's edited here, I'll find the relevant bit of code. There we go. And basically we have to call this reset method, which then reapplies all of the upgrades and makes the plot itself again. Doing it this way, though, it allows me to downgrade the plot and upgrade the plot, and also keep the game thinking that the upgrade is there. That way the player can't rebuy the upgrade, but also removes the physical aspects along the slimes to kind of go where they please and not be confined to the confines of the pen. So that worked out actually decently well. So that was a bit of a hack that we had to go through and kind of reverse engineer what they had to do the opposite of what they wanted. But that wasn't the problem. The problem came because you can get this downgrade for the player anywhere in the world. This chooses a random plot that you have upgraded, so it actually chooses a coral plot. It makes sure that the plot type is a corral, and from that it'll only choose those plots. So it's not going to try and downgrade something that doesn't have walls or doesn't have anything in it. It'll make sure it does that. But the issue comes because it'll choose a plot you have anywhere in the world, no matter how far you are from the plot, and it will downgrade it. The issue is that the slimes despawn, or not despawn, but they stop updating once you go a certain distance away. The game unloads them. So we had to figure out a way to get around this, and the solution I came up with that I thought had worked was that we checked the distance from the player to the corral, and if it was less than 100 units, whatever their units are, it would not downgrade it until you were within 100 units of a certain corral. This seemed to have worked in my testing. However, in actual implementation by Darkosto, who does these mods, it didn't seem to work, and that's kind of where I'm at. The whole issue and collision here is I have to figure out a way to do this, but without knowing the game logic that loads and unloads the slimes and how it chooses this. I am just doing my best guess. The game's a little more complex than just knowing how far you are. There are different areas in this map. There are different sections that control things. So working with all this is a lot more complex. I tried to do this very simplistically, and obviously it is not quite working the way I thought it would. But again, this is modding, trying to make something from nothing and having to work with a very foreign code base. It's all the challenges you get when you're modding. So at any rate, hopefully this video was entertaining. You got to see a little bit of how some of this stuff works. And as I make more mods or more Twitch integration mods for games, hopefully I'll keep doing these. I've been enjoying showing this off and kind of giving you some insights into the more difficult or hacky or just interesting bits of code I write for these. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.